Well, welcome to Zen Live. I just made that up, Zen Live. I like that. Usually I have my Martini Time talks at 5, and I was sitting on the front porch, and I was reading, and I got inspired for a talk, and I thought, well, if I wait until 5 o'clock, I'll probably forget it, and won't, maybe not even bother having a talk, So I thought, well, why do I have to restrict myself to 5 o'clock and a martini? I'm getting a little tired of martinis. So I thought, well, I could just come on anytime and do Zen Live. So what is Zen Live? Well, live, of course, is this. And Zen, to me, is inspiration. Satori. Aha! Eureka! I see. Wow, I didn't know that. To me, that's Zen. It's the discovery of the fresh in the old. It's being where you started and seeing it for the first time. So that to me is Zen. So Zen Live is seeing something for the first time. So I thought I was inspired to talk about a bowl. This is a very good bowl. I remember back when I was trying to have a meditation center, I wanted a good bowl. So I went to an import place and I spent $300 for this bowl. Would you believe it? It's still going. Can you hear it? Anyway, I was reading in I'm reading a book called From the Gita to the Grail by Bernie Clark, and it's really a brilliant book on the mythology, the studies and works of Joseph Campbell, but it puts it into his own framework. And he was using the analogy of the bowl and connecting it with the Garden of Eden. So this is my Zen fits here for today. So the Garden of Eden, when looked at historically, doesn't make any sense because it's in direct conflict with evolution, science, rationality, and everything. So, but metaphorically, it makes a lot of sense. So the Garden of Eden, where mankind had to bite the tree of good and evil, good and bad, it's in his DNA. A child doesn't stay in the womb, which is the garden. He wants to know, what's this, what's that? So let's look at what this and what that is. Now here's a bowl. Now suppose I say, this rim here is far from me. That's an idea. So as soon as I say this rim is far from me, I say this rim is near. So now I have far and near. Now as soon as I say near, I create far. As soon as I say the concept of far, I create near, you see. So every concept, everything comes in pairs. If I say up, that infers down. If I say good, bad. If I say I'm looking for meaning, that implies not meaning. If I say existence, the concept of existence implies not existence. You see, everything, no matter what we say, now this is living on the rim. So if I live on the rim, everything that I name has an opposite. If I say you, that infers me, or implies me. You see, so everything, whatever this I say, I name, creates a that. So that's living on the rim. So what is the center? You see, well, the center has no name. Meister Eckhart, the Christian mystic of the Middle Ages, said you have to give up God in order to find God. Well, if I say God, that's on the rim. God is here, and then that implies not God. So now, well, what, you don't believe in God, you see? And then do I, what? So as soon as I say God, I'm on the rim. And I've created not God. But what's the center? The center is no name. The center is prior to naming. The center is a mystery. The center is not defined. The center is just this before it becomes a cat and a dog and a monkey and all these names, you see. And if I say cat, that implies not cat. So everything I say, everything I think is an it. And when I live in a world of its, which is where we are, having left the garden, we live in a world of its, you see, by choosing to think in terms of good and bad, up and down, here and there, and opposites, you see. So we're constantly oscillating between opposites as we wander outside of the Garden of Eden. We did it. It's in our DNA to do that. But then we come to a point where we realize that we're oscillating between this and that. We're oscillating on the rim. We're just forget it. We're just living on the rim of life. And we're all longing for what Joseph Campbell called bliss. Now, what is bliss in the way Campbell thought of it? Bliss is living in the center. Living from the center means that you live in the full experience of life without defining it into this and that. But at the same time, we do live on the rim because you have to catch a bus, and the bus is laden, and I got a job, and I got all these things to do on the rim. So we live on the rim, but primarily we live from the center, which is the nameless existence prior to defining everything in this and that, you see. So we live in both places at the same time, from the center and on the rim. But our culture defines everything by the rim. So we're kind of like forced out on the rim by this centrifugal force. You know, if you go to they don't have to have them anymore, but used to be you go to an amusement park and they would have a big turning cylinder, and if you got in it, the centrifugal force would for you on, hang you up on the side, and spin you around. And then when they stopped, you would drop down to the bottom, back to the center. So we're born in the center, but then society, through its centrifugal force of the language, spins us out onto the rim where everything is this and that. I'm this, you're that, and we're going to fight. So it's an argument and a fight and a war and a conflict of the known. I know this, it's not that, it's not this. My opinion, your opinion, yada yada, yada yada, and so forth, you see, is spinning out, it's forced on the rim. So what we're longing for is to restore center. Even Trump ran on that. Restore America. What is he talking about? Well, in this framework, he's talking about finding America, the center. You see, he didn't know that. He's just creating more rim thinking. But the longing, you see, is to find the center. Each of us wants to find our center, which is the heart, you see, and which is the center of the bowl. So wherever you go, you're always in your center. You're always in your spot, like Sheldon Cooper, you see, when you find your center. But you can't find the center until you let go of the centrifugal force of culture and the collective that spins us out onto the rim, where we're caught in the oscillation between this and that, up and down, in or out. Which one do you want? And Zen is all about that. Zen, the Zen cone, forces us back to the center. The Zen cone would be, now if you say this is a bowl, you are wrong. If you say it isn't a bowl, you are wrong. Now which is it? Is it a bowl or isn't it a bowl? Choose, or I'm going to hit you with the bowl. Whoa, I got to get off the rim. That's rim. Is it a bowl? Is it not a bowl? You see, everything. Soon as I say it's this, I create that. Soon as I say up, I create down. As soon as I say in, I create out. As soon as I say far, I create near, you see. Living on the rim. And then everything becomes an it and a not it. And now we're spun up against the wall. So seeing that relaxes the centrifugal force that pins us against the wall. And we fall into our center. We stumble like Alice in Wonderland into our center. And we go, ah. No conflict between this and that. Ah. The bliss of contentment in just being who you are. In the present moment, whatever the moment is doing, you are in the center. And the center has no name. You're in what was the song? In the desert where you have no name, you see. All the stories and myths point to the center, but we try to understand it in it terms, in language. So anyway, thanks for dropping into Zen Live, and I'll drop back in when I feel like it.